Hi, I'm Arindam Mukhopadhyay from Ortho Implants for Life, and I'm also an entrepreneur with Orthopedic Implants for last 11 years. I'm also into training and coaching. I'm teamed up with orthopedic surgeon to come up with ortho career coach, which is uh, which is going to help people learn orthopedics and various other skills which are required in the field of orthopedics. So today we have with us Ashish Prasad, who is CEO of Software, which is again a digital marketing company website. They deal with website and certain other things. So I will ask Ashish to introduce himself.
Good evening. Thank you, Arindam. Pleasure to join in on a discussion, a very interesting discussion. I'm quite excited to learn a lot more about the orthopedic industry so that how we can utilize your industry where you've been having an expertise in and how our digital strategy can help you in getting more people online as well as getting more patients and the whole supply chain connected. So, a quick introduction. I'm Ashish Prasad, and I have two companies which deal with digital strategy, design, and development, and the other one which does compliance and legal services. So, basically, my background is technology. So, we build scalable apps on the cloud. And what we are doing right now is we have platform where businesses can start and grow as well as scale up. So that's the whole idea. So from a legal perspective, we help you with the incorporation, trademark, compliance. Along with that, we also help you with the design aspect of the application and other details. So that's just to give you a quick introduction about what we do from our companies. And yeah, going back to you, Arindam.
Not able to hear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So that's just a quick introduction about our companies, and I would be very happy to hear about your background as well as to what made you choose orthopedic industry and how you become an orthopedic coach and your story. So we are quite intrigued.
So to be very brief about it, uh, I started business on 2008, and I found that this is a very skill and knowledge driven industry. And it was very difficult for me to learn orthopedics because there was no course available. There was no institution. So currently, those people who are learning orthopedics, they are learning on the job. Actually, it takes a lot of time. Everybody doesn't get the access to all the knowledge at a time, so it takes a lot of time to really master the skill and knowledge. And after working with so many surgeons for so many years, I found that they like skilled individual, and it is extremely critical and important because we send orthopedic implants to the OT, and in the chain of events, anywhere anybody makes any mistake, the patient and the operation is going to suffer. So that is why uh, when I discussed this problem with a few surgeons, it cropped up that if a course can be designed where we would be able to uh, bring all the informations in very simplified form in a step-by-step manner, so that people can very easily learn the orthopedics and also several other skills like selling skills, the various other knowledges are required and skills are required, those can be given, then people can become professional, and it's irrespective of their educational qualification. People can learn it and make a good career out of it, a very high paying career out of this profession. So that actually prompted me. At the same time, this year when this pandemic happened, uh, it occurred to everybody's mind. It came to my mind also that every business is becoming online. So how we can become online or make the use of the digital platform. So if you can give some light on that.
Absolutely. So, as you and I, we're all through this pandemic. This was quite unexpected for 2020. Everybody thought this was a good year, but we've already gone through half of the year with COVID-19. So, what's happened in the last 6 months or so is that most businesses have come online. So, if you look at the statistics, if you look at the US, there's an increase of more than 25% of businesses which have gone online since March. And between March 1 and June, there's about 40% of businesses, according to one research. So basically, more and more businesses are going online, and they're leveraging the online space. Where or how you need to leverage the technology and the digital strategy for your business depends on the area of business. And of course, it's not viable, or it's not suggested for every type of business. If you're a hotel, of course, you expect some people to come into your hotel and stay, so it cannot be online. So it would only work with services like e-commerce, where you're selling a product where people can avoid coming into a store and purchasing a product. That could be done online. When it comes to your field, I'm quite intrigued as to how it would function. So we take a surgeon, for example. What is the supply chain? How does it work from a manufacturer who manufactures something that's an implant, goes through a distributor, and then it has to go to a surgeon, and then goes all the way to the patient. So what is the system in place right now with let's say a surgeon?
So normally, what happens is that when when a patient comes to the surgeon, and if it is a planned surgery, then it's different. And if it is a trauma or accident-prone surgery, then the surgeon will be fixing the surgery within a very shortest period of time, maybe on that particular day or maybe next day. So he will be placing order to the implant company, and we will have to arrange the implant instrument as per the requirement of the surgeon. So one has to be very precise, one has to be very particular about arranging the implants, so there should not be any mistake. And the person has to deliver the implants and instruments in the hospital, nursing home. There should not be any mistakes. And after the when the surgery takes place, somebody will definitely assist the surgeon during the OT. And after the surgery is over, somebody will pick up the material, and then the used material will be billed to the hospital. And this is how the business actually takes place. So the implant company has to keep a lot of inventory, so that there is no they should not miss any size. Any lot of sizes are required, a lot of inventory has to be maintained. So that is the obligation for the implant company. So they will have to make a good amount of inventory, so that the time it will take to send the order and then again receive the material. So they will have to keep this into consideration.
Super. And how does a surgeon contact a manufacturer? What is the process between a surgeon and
Contract manufacturer. Surgeon will contact a dealer like us, who would be actually giving the service.
okay? And so right now it is completely physical, as I understand. So the
Absolutely.
dealer has to go in and meet the doctor and speak, get the details in, and then what happens then? Is any part of it online, or using any online?
So there is nothing online currently.
Okay.
Everything is physical.
Yeah. So when we speak about any industry, so as for doctors, of course, there will be some level of human contact as long as a surgery has to be performed. So We will always have a patient coming into a doctor, but where the contact of a person can be reduced or tried, where we can try to reduce is with the things that can be avoided. For example, if you have a doctor, they can have an online platform where they can get the appointment done, make the payment online. The patient just visits the doctor. The doctor, of course, would be handling the patient. Once the patient, is diagnosed and then goes on to providing, I mean, the doctor goes into the dealer with regards to the implant or whatever that needs to be done from the dealer part. If there's a system in place where you can have a website or a web app where they can place an order that goes into the dealer, then goes to the manufacturer. The supply chain can be documented, which would help your industry to reduce the errors, the human errors that you can make while sending in the information. That can happen, right? So that can happen sometimes.
There is no sound.
You're not able to hear me.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay. So what I'm asking is, let's just assume that you have a patient who comes to a doctor, needs an implant, and the doctor needs to contact a distributor, right? The distributor would, rather having to meet the doctor in person, can take details through a web app and then forward the details to the manufacturer, where the implant could be shipped directly to the hospital or the surgeon, and then.
No, no, no. That's not absolutely not possible.
Okay.
So, as absolutely not possible because every surgery has to be planned properly, and the implants and instruments have to be spatially arranged as per the requirement of the surgeon. So, their manufacturer doesn't come into play. So, it
Okay.
is about the implant company who is going to service the doctor. He will understand the order. He will understand the timing of the surgery. So this is absolutely as per the requirement of the surgeon. So here manufacturer doesn't come into play.
Yeah. So when we speak of the implant company, what happens once you collect the information? The information still needs to be sent, right?
Yes.
So this part can be automated through a web application or a website where the information from the doctor reaches the implant company without any human errors. Because when you have a person collecting information,
Yeah.
no doubt, sometimes things can go wrong because there's always a chance of a human error. So to avoid this, what normally businesses can do, this industry is new, so new to use the online space probably. Not many surgeons may use this sort of a way, but let's just assume we have an online platform where they fill in the details of the patient. The request is received at the implant industry or the implant company, and the whatever the physical details that needs to be validated could still be communicated through a distributor. So the supply chain is completely online, avoiding physical contact where the distributor has to visit a surgeon. That can be completely avoided. Is that making sense?
Distributor will not be visiting surgeon for this purpose. The dealer can meet the surgeon for promotion of product or just for demonstrating any instrument, or if there is any inquiry by the surgeon, or uh, for normal sales meet.
Mm-hmm.
These are the reasons why a dealer person should meet the doctor. Otherwise, the doctor will be sending the order over phone, and the person would be in an implant company would be receiving the order and processing the material.
Got it. Yeah. So in regards to how a business would go typically online is when you have an inventory of products. As you mentioned earlier, the inventory would be stocked up from the distributor or the manufacturer. How does that work?
Yeah, the implant company has to maintain a huge inventory because there are a lot of uh, implants and a lot of sizes are there. So the implant company has to maintain a very huge inventory. So when there is a need for sending order to the manufacturer, he will place order to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer will dispatch the material to the implant company. So this will take a little bit of time. So
Hmm.
that is why implant company has to maintain a very good amount of inventory.
Yeah. So in regards to the implant company, I think a database would be already maintained from their end, right? So they should be having a database where they're storing their inventory and things like that. But as a distributor, you would not know what they have at the implant company. Is that right?
So no, that idea is not available, but that idea can be have we have that idea through our phone, and in big organization, what happens is that if SAP is available, so those systems are not available in surgical industry. So currently, we depend upon the information shared by the manufacturer, whether it is in the stock or not. The implant company always kept guessing.
Got it. And so, in regards to this, I feel you can always have a connection between a distributor and the implant company where the stock, the inventory can be shared so that the distributor has always having an idea as to what is available, and it would also help with the sales later if they're doing a demo or demonstration of the product. That could also be done. Apart from that, as per the contact that one can avoid, I feel it's something that is you have to you have to have a physical meeting probably with the surgeons. Is that right?
Physical meeting with the surgeons is absolutely necessary because uh, otherwise the demonstration of implants will not be possible. The sales meets are also required, and in business, human touch is always extremely important. So, which cannot be avoided.
My knowledge in the world of orthopedics is very limited, as you might already know that. So, in regards to the demonstration, what exactly would you be explaining to the doctor or the
Uh,
surgeon?
Implants and instruments,
Yeah,
those are the things which cannot be just from the picture, it cannot be apprehended. So the surgeon has to feel how the instrument is, how the alignment of the instrument is, or the whether the design of the implant is as per his requirement. So for this, physical check is extremely important. Apart from that, sales meet is also something. I'm afraid I do not know how much is it possible online. So there has to have some physical contact. Otherwise, I do not know how much will it impact.
yeah. So we have to go on to the next question, which is your industry right now, is it affected from COVID-19?
So the COVID-19 has affected most of the industries. In our industry, we are also affected, but mostly those which are planned surgeries, those are affected. But those which are trauma based, those are not affected because those has to be treated or operated very urgently. So trauma surgeries are there,
Mhm.
but planned surgeries are not taking place.
They are postponed.
But industry doesn't have any problem as such. But the lockdown has affected the business to some extent.
I think that opens up a dialogue for having an option for having your demonstrations done online. Would you not agree? If you are not able to visit doctors,
Yeah, that can be done to some extent, but then again, it's about the mindset. But again, You see, the supposing online you are doing, that means it is almost having a video of the thing and having an understanding of that. That is one portion, one part of it. The other part is having the instrument in front and getting the alignment check and all those things. That is the second thing. So all the cases, the people from the surgical company do not need to meet the surgeon. They also go to the surgeon to maintain the relationship and for the sales call. So always it is not the reason, the demonstration or something like that. It is not always the reason. The other reasons are also there.
Mhm. So, from a digital perspective, if something needs to go online, I think the very first thing that could be avoided, what I can picture with your industry is you can reduce the human contact where someone comes in and meets a doctor without a prior appointment or the payment. This could be done online from a doctor's perspective. The second part would be with the communication part where the doctor reaches out to a dealer or um, a distributor where the communication needs to take place. That could be done once again on an online platform. Of course, it might be something that is uncommon, but these are quite unprecedented times, and we have to be prepared for something like this. So as you and I, we both discussed this with many doctors, and we may not have a vaccine that would help, with the prevention of COVID-19 right now. It's going to take some time, and in this time, as businesses are losing money, there's a chance for businesses to go online through ways. So one of the ways that a doctor can use the online space is book appointments, make payments online, and you have services which have been doing this from quite some time. So doctors are quite familiar with this. Apart from this, sharing of information between a dealer with the implant and things like that, it could all be connected to a system, and that would definitely help avoid human contact and therefore preventing you from COVID-19. So it's all sort of a place that one needs to be prepared right now, and it's something every business is trying to do the same. So it's about time any business, it's about time, it doesn't matter what industry, they should be going online at this hour. I feel that's something that is something not to miss right now, especially the orthopedic industry as well, as we are speaking more onto it. And going back to your coaching session, can you quickly let us all know what type of audience your course is useful for? Is it just for surgeons or?
No, 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 no. Absolutely not. It is about the people who are coming to this industry, orthopedic industry. They need to learn orthopedics and also certain other skills and knowledges, which can be shared in the from the online platform, so that they get to learn it. Because offline it is not possible. It will be very costly, and in today's time, it is absolutely not advisable also. So it will be online, and after having the theoretical knowledge, then they can have a practical training, hands-on training with the surgeon. So
So
that was basically thought about.
so we are
So
referring to technicians here.
yeah, so the thing is that, but I would be very interested to know that while the digital word is a buzzword for this current time. Now, whether this industry can go digital, in what respect they can go digital, or whether this industry does not require any digital platform right at this moment.
Yeah. So, from an operations perspective, the implant companies need to adopt a supply chain which involves an online digital solutions uh, uh, platform where they can collect information. Information needs to be validated because, like we discussed earlier, collecting information from the doctor can, if a human person, I mean, if a human being is involved, there's always a chance of an error. So that can be avoided if there is if there's a system in place where the information is collected and then passed on. There's a valid reason, and you get a receipt for that. So it's something that can be connected between uh, an implant company to a distributor and a doctor right to the patient. So all of this can be connected through an online system. So that is missing right now, and especially during this pandemic, it's something that one needs to adopt so that businesses can thrive. So it's a way where we sort of get through this difficult time, and it's about time doctors and the medical industry also adopt to this.
So, can you please elaborate a little bit because there needs to be clarity about what you are actually telling. So, do you mean to tell that well everybody will have to have a website and where they will uh, put up where all the information is there and doctors would place orders through website because currently we are doing with the telephonic orders and we are doing it quite fine. So apart from meeting the surgeons, and that can be done on Zoom call or something like that, if both the parties agree. So apart from that, what all is the requirement?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So basically, from a brand perspective, when you speak of a doctor, the doctor may have done 100 or 500 successful surgeries. So people, when they visit a doctor, they will never know what the doctor's track record is like. This is where a patient builds trust for a hospital or a doctor. So one way of doing this is just validation through word of mouth. The other way is social proof, where if you have a social media page, people would have seen that page, and they would have seen a lot of things about good things and not so good things maybe sometimes. And these are the things that people look for. Apart from that, information can always be validated from a website. If you have a website that would help a doctor or a surgeon with their background as to how long they've been doing and details about what they specialize in and things like that. So these are the things that could help a surgeon. And from a patient's perspective, you build trust by sharing your expertise, knowledge. Knowledge is always something that needs to be shared. And doctors are quite, I mean, especially surgeons are quite uh, well trained and very highly skilled individuals where their knowledge and insights can help a lot of people understand how the industry works. So having that published, let's say on a social media or a website, is always something that would eventually get them more traffic or patients back to them. So this is one way for the doctor.
So that is about the doctor. I'm more interested to know about this industry, the whether it is a manufacturer or whether it's manufacturers always have their website, but for the dealers who are working, who are actually servicing the orthopedic surgeons, what all they need to do, whether they also require a website or what sort of website should be or how it can help people.
Yep. So as I mentioned earlier, so whether it's a doctor or a distributor or a dealer, at the end of the day, it's all about credibility. So if you have successful referrals, if you have reviews, or if a doctor says, I had worked with a dealer and I'm working with this dealer, it creates, once again, it creates a level of authenticity, it creates a level of business. But from a B2B perspective, since dealers basically deal hospitals or surgeons, it's more of a place where it's not going to be understood from an end consumer. So manufacturers and dealers They are basically B2B. Is that right?
Yes.
So from that perspective, having a website would cover two things. One, you can have an online inventory as to what's there at the company, at the implant company, what's being shipped, so that both of you are sort of on the same page. The second thing is documentation. Right now, taking a call, taking an order through a phone call, it may get lost. It may not be correctly documented. Sometimes you may not be able to remember if something goes wrong. There's no way of checking. So if it is sent through an online system where there is a receipt sent to, let's say, a hospital or a manufacturer or a dealer, it just avoids the legal hassles and the legal structure for your business, limiting your liabilities and things like that. Apart from that, having a website once again helps you share your story, as we know that you already have a website where people can learn, and once again sharing knowledge is the key criteria for any business. So you start sharing knowledge, and at some point you're going to be picked up from the SEO's standpoint or through your audience, where you will have someone come back to you with a request for your product. So having a website, to summarize, having a website will always help a business, be very clear about what their business is, create a credible brand. And lastly, you will be sharing information where you attract your future customers or your future audience to your website.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. And that I've understood. But uh, since the patients should be treated by the surgeons, so what all dealers should require in the to put up in the website. So what should be the website like, and uh, what are the scope of the dealer to use the website for increase his business, and how it should actually help him.
That's a very good question. So, in regards to how you would set up a website, of course, it depends on the product that you are planning to sell. So, to give you an overview, what you would want is there's going to be a lot of the confidentiality between the patient and the doctor, and of course with the
No, the dealer is not supplying it to the patient. So dealer is supplying to the hospital, but actually the order is being placed by the surgeon. So here the patient doesn't come into play.
sure. Got
At the best, what can happen is that once the patient receives the bill, he can verify with the website of the dealer to find what are all there, and whether he has received what kind of implant or something like that. If he wishes to check, he can at the best do it. So mostly the website is created for the benefit of the surgeon.
Yeah, you're right. So it's basically when the doctor needs to. We are just trying to avoid a phone call with a dealer, so that can be documented over a form. Let's say an online form, a simple form can take in the information, and then that could be received at a dealer's end, and then the dealer would reach the manufacturer or the implant company. So that would be sort of a process that one would work with, right?
Okay. So any other thing regarding the website, whether uh, uh, so this website should be attempted to attract traffic, or there is no need, there is no requirement, because um, whether there is at all any requirement of such websites.
See, when it comes to websites, at the end of the day, it's about your presence. As a business, you might have a store, but if you don't have any people coming in because of the pandemic, your store is going to be online. So basically, if someone types in orthopedic implant, your business would pop on search results, and it could be your website where they see the list of products, and then that person could be your future surgeon. So this is where you should be right now. If you're not at that place, it means you're behind 10 years or maybe 5 years, because most of the business, whether it's it's a medical industry or an e-commerce platform, everyone is going online because people are not visiting places. It's just not because of lockdown. It's also the fear. Even after we find a vaccine, there's going to be a time where people still not feel, they won't feel comfortable visiting places. They would still rather prefer an online platform. Would you not agree?
Yeah. So that means you mean to tell that sometimes the payment can also be collected through website.
Yeah, absolutely. So e-commerce will always have a payment gateway, so that would be the way to go forward. And yeah, that would be the perfect way to avoid human contact and probably be more profitable. I'm not sure if the right word, if it's the right word for orthopedic implant, but businesses need to be more profitable right now because they've lost a lot of money.
Yeah. Now, one important question is how to use the digital platform or website or something like that to actually increase the business. And what is coming into my mind is that uh, when a person actually uh, puts up all his testimonials, like licenses and all those things, and the certificates in the website, that creates a lot of awareness for the and authenticity
Yeah.
for whosoever is checking the website. So that is also the credibility part can be established through website. What I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be one way of describing or creating a person's track record or a surgeon's track record, as well as a dealer's history of how successful surgeries have been with hospitals. So you're creating case studies where you can show what has happened with the patient X, patient Y from a doctor XYZ. So these are the things that could be.
Doctors' testimonials can be, surgeons' testimonials can be put because we are not, we don't have the access to the patient, and it is not our business also. So we
Yeah,
can definitely put the testimony of the surgeon
exactly.
to uh, to, to to which can potentiate the claim that well it's a good company.
Yeah, absolutely. So it comes down to the next part. Now, what we need to discuss would be social media. So once we have a website in place, let's say an e-commerce website where it is functional and you have all the information, and you've created a level of trust, and the next part you would focus is create leads, have a sales funnel, and then have create leads. So for that, make use of social media, and for that we should schedule another meeting sometime soon, and we'll discuss a little more on social media with the next one.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Ashish, for giving your time. What I've understood, if I summarize it, that even this orthopedic industry can use this digital media platform and to showcase their accomplishments. They may require uh, websites to put their success stories, their testimonials, the certificates, where which can offer a virtual office for them, so that people can get into it and understand the quantum of work they are doing, and also get the veracity of the statement, what actually they claim and how far those are true. So this is what I've understood.
Yes. So that was one part. The second part would be the the connection between the manufacturer or the implant company to the dealer, and then the hospital, and then to the patient. So this sort of a chain, the supply chain, is what is going to be connected through an online platform. And this is what the orthopedic industry requires now, because we need to reduce human contact and get through this pandemic, and we will. So that's just to give you an overview. I look forward to speaking to you again sometime soon.
Just before finishing, I would like to just understand if you can give me just what is happening all over the world and how, and give a little bit uh, beyond this orthopedic industry, how this digital platform is going to help and or revolutionize the coming in the future business transactions. So if you can give some throw some light on it.
Sure. So basically, a lot of businesses, if you look back at Amazon, Amazon started about 18 years ago, maybe 17 years ago. When it started, it was just another website selling books, and 2019, fast forward 17 years, it became the largest retailer, not just online, offline as well, like brick and mortar stores. So it basically became so dominant. It was bigger than Walmart, which was almost which was the biggest brand for decades. So that's what happened. So once you reach a stage where there's a shift of things, how they used to work and how they're working now, people need to adopt to that change. And if a business is not adopting to that change, that business is going to fail at some point. So, right now, this is the call. The call is the pandemic. Businesses need to understand and adopt to the change, which is going online. If a business, whether it's orthopedic or anything else, is not leveraging the online space, eventually it's going to lose the space where people are going to be more profitable online than being offline. So this is sort of a game where people need to step up and prepare for the change. So this is something that we will go a little deeper. We'll definitely do that, and focus a little more on social media strategy. So people get to know a little more about that.
Thank you, Ashish, for giving your time. Hope the viewers have enjoyed and got some insight about this digital media platform. So we are extremely curious to know what more is there in store for us to leverage out of this industry, out of this platform and grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arindam. Super. Have a good evening.
Yeah, good evening.